Hi everyone, welcome to English for Tuesday week 5. Let's have a look at what you need to go and grab. Okay, so you'll need sheet 17, which is 2 pages, and sheet 18. If you're in year 1, I've changed sheet 17, so it'll look a little bit different. You'll need your writing book, pencil, glue, and eraser. So go grab those things and then come back. Okay, so a reminder, we're using a whole body listening when we are learning from home. Okay, so today we're learning about creating a description of a character. So we're going to draft a character description using the character profile from yesterday's lesson. So yesterday's lesson we had sheet 16 and we wrote in here some words that described how the author had represented Fang Fang. Now if you're in year 1, so if you're year 2 don't worry about this bit, just year 1, all you're doing today is taking these words and putting them into sentences. So you don't have to create an alternative description. So you're going to have a look at the appearance, thoughts and actions of Fang Fang, and then you're going to put those 3 bits into here in sentence form. So it says, what does the character look like? So you can use these bullet points here to help you. So Fang Fang has a frowning face. She is slouching at the table. So you're going to write that into a sentence with a capital letter, full stop. Okay, the next bit, what was the character thinking about? So you'll go over to your thoughts column on sheet 16. Okay, so we've got she thinks Lisa will think her culture is silly. So you need to pop that into a sentence. So Fang Fang thinks that Lisa will think her culture is silly. So full stop at the end. And then what did the character do? So you'll go over to the actions part of sheet 16 and then read that. So invites Lisa to Chinese New Year or goes to the restaurant but is grumpy. Okay, so you can write one of those in here into a sentence, and then you're going to write, how do you feel about this character? So I feel happy about this character, I don't like this character, whatever it is that you feel, and then you're going to explain why. Okay, so you might need an adult to help you with that one. Okay, but my year 2s will keep going from here. Okay, so antonyms. So what does an antonym mean? It is the opposite of another word. Let's have a look at some antonyms for day. What's the antonym for day? It would be night. The antonym for rainy. What's the opposite of rainy? The antonym would be sunny. And, oh, got the wrong picture up, but that's okay. Antonym for quiet. So antonym for quiet would be loud, wouldn't it? Okay, so you're going to get your sheet 16 out. And we are going to write some antonyms in. So we've got the 4 different subsections here. So we've got appearance, qualities, thoughts, actions. And we've already written in how the author has represented the character. We're going to come up with the antonyms to describe an alternative description of that same character. So let's start with appearance. So we've got Fang Fang has a frowning face. So what's the opposite of a frowning face? It would be a happy face. So I've written happy face in here. You can do the same. You might want to use a wow word though. Slouching. So if you're slouching, this is sort of what you'd look like. So I thought the opposite of slouching would be sitting proudly. So let's write in an antonym for slouching. We've written in here pokes tongue out. Here she is poking her tongue out at the food. How would she look if she was proud of her culture in this picture? What would she be doing with her face? So you could write in another antonym there. Okay, now just down here you can see it says note not all characteristics need to change. So we don't have to change everything if we don't want to. So her qualities, I'd written obedient yesterday. I didn't want to change that, so I've left it the same. Thoughts, so I had here, she thinks Lisa will think her culture is silly. So what would be the opposite of that? She would think that Lisa would like her culture. So that's what I've written in here. She feels embarrassed about her culture. So the opposite of being embarrassed, I think, would be proud. So she feels proud about her culture. And the actions. So we've got here, she invites Lisa to Chinese New Year because she has to. So the opposite to that would be, to me, would be invites Lisa to Chinese New Year because she wants to. And the next one, goes to the restaurant but is grumpy. What would be the opposite of grumpy? So goes to the restaurant and is happy. So I've used a boring word there, you might want to use a wow word. So if you've done something different yesterday, that's perfectly fine. All you're doing now is thinking of some antonyms to describe what the alternative character would appear like, what would her qualities be, what would her thoughts be, and her actions. And I would pause the video and fill that out. Okay, so pause it now, fill that out, and then come back. So the last bit here says, what effect would the alternative character description have on an audience? So how would an audience feel about your new character, your alternative character? Would they like the character more? Would they dislike the character? What do you think? So just jot down your ideas in that last box there. So pause the video again, do that, and then we'll move forward. Okay, so this might look a little bit overwhelming, but don't worry, we're just writing a few sentences for each. So on sheet 17, it has a couple of different little headings here. So we've got name of character. So we're going to write in Fang Fang because that's who we're writing about. And we're going to change an event from the original story, like we've been doing. I'm going to choose the part where the firecrackers are going off outside. I'm going to change that. But you might choose to do the very beginning of the story where she has to invite Lisa even though she doesn't want to. Maybe you'll do the part where Lisa's trying the food for the first time. Up to you which part you want to change. So you have a think about that. So I've written in here firecracker part, and then it says title. So I've done alternative character description of Fang Fang. Okay, so the first bit here says introductory statement. Describe what the character was like in the original story. So what does the character look like? What qualities does she have? How does the character feel? What does she think or say? What does she do? So I've just snipped the little appearance part here. So if I were you, I'd have sheet 16 next to me. And you could use some of those words to help you out. So if we flip back here, you've got frowning face, slouching, pokes tongue out, obedient. She thinks Lisa will think her culture is silly, etc. Okay, so that bit there. So we're going to put that into a sentence. So in the original story, what happens? So remember, we're going to use our capital letters, full stop. And if you can think of a compound sentence, that would be even better. So what I've written here. In the original story, Fang Fang is embarrassed about her culture. Because that's what she's like in the original story. Then you could write something about her appearance. So you might write, she has a frowning face and she is slouching at the table. Or she thinks Lisa will think Chinese New Year is silly. Okay, so that might be something that you want to write. I've written a little bit extra here. Let's have a look what else I've written. So Fang Fang has a frowning face in the story because she thinks Lisa won't like Chinese food. Okay, so use your sheet 16. Come up with some sentences there. Just 2, that's enough. Okay. Alright, once you've done that, we'll move on. So the next part says, describe how the character has changed. Okay, so if we're going to change our character, what is she going to look like? What are her qualities? What are her thoughts and actions? So, looking at sheet 16, you'll be looking at your alternative descriptions of the character. So things like happy face sitting proudly. So I've written this. So in my story, Fang Fang is proud of her culture. She smiles when they're at the restaurant and she wants to share her culture. So I've just got 2 sentences there. That's all you need to write. So I'd like it if you could come up with something a little bit different to mine. So pause the video and write something in there. Okay, the next bit, so we're going to choose an event from the original story and explain how the event would change if the alternative character is used. So how does the character feel? What does she do? What does she think or say? So I chose the firecracker part, if you remember. So when they hear the firecrackers, Fang Fang is excited to show them to Lisa. That would be how I changed the story. She thinks it is exciting and takes Lisa outside to watch them. So if you're choosing the same event to change, you could write something similar in there. But yes, let's make sure we've got our capital letters, full stops, and if you can try and do a compound sentence, that would be fabulous. So pause the video, write that part in. Okay, and the last bit is the conclusion. So it says, describe how the reader will feel about the alternative character. So how do you think the reader will feel now that you've changed the character? So it might be the reader will like Fang Fang because, so I've given you a little sentence starter there if you want to use that. Maybe you've made your character really evil. Maybe you've made your character someone who's not particularly likable, but I wanted the reader to like my character. Okay, so pause the video, finish that bit off, and that is the end of the lesson. So I'll see you next time.